If you've ever stood near a Florida swamp or watched a wildlife documentary and thought, wait, is that an alligator or a crocodile? You're not alone. These ancient reptiles have been roaming the earth since the time of dinosaurs, and while they may look similar at first glance, they're truly worlds apart when it comes to biology, behavior, and even personality. In today's video, we're diving into the wild world of alligators and crocodiles, two powerful cousins that share a toothy smile but live very different lives. Whether you're a lifelong animal enthusiast or just curious about the creatures lurking in America's wetlands, you're in for a fascinating journey. Let's explore the key differences that help you tell them apart, and maybe appreciate them a little more along the way. Let's start with a bit of prehistoric perspective. Crocodiles and alligators aren't just impressive reptiles, they're living relics of a lost world. These creatures have been around since the age of dinosaurs, surviving mass extinctions, shifting continents, and dramatic changes in climate. In fact, when you look into the eyes of a crocodilian, you're staring into millions of years of evolutionary history. Both crocs and gators are apex predators, built for one purpose: survival. With bone-crushing jaws, armored skin, and senses fine-tuned by nature itself, they've earned their place as some of the toughest and most efficient hunters on the planet. They may seem slow or sluggish at times, but when it counts, they strike with lightning speed and lethal precision. So while they may differ in some ways, as we'll explore, make no mistake, both of these animals are ancient masters of their domain, each with a legacy that stretches back over 70 million years. Now, let's talk crocodiles, the heavyweight champions of the reptile world. There are 18 known species of true crocodiles, but to stand out, the mighty Nile crocodile, Africa's top aquatic predator, and the enormous saltwater crocodile, affectionately nicknamed salties, found across northern Australia and Southeast Asia. What makes crocodiles so fascinating, and let's be honest, a little terrifying, is their ability to thrive in both freshwater and saltwater. Thanks to special salt glands in their tongues, they can wander from rivers to coastlines without missing a beat. That adaptability is part of what's helped them outlast the dinosaurs. But don't let their ancient charm fool you. These creatures are aggressive, powerful, and not the least bit shy about attacking humans. Crocodiles have V-shaped snouts, and when their mouths are shut, you can still see both the upper and lower teeth, a trademark feature. Their dark green armor-like skin is covered in osteoderms, thick, bony plates that store calcium and act as natural body armor. And the numbers, they're jaw-dropping. A large saltwater crocodile can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh over 2,000 pounds. Their bite force: between 3,000 and 5,000 psi, strong enough to crush bone like a dry twig. Crocodiles are ambush hunters, masters of patience. They lurk at the water's edge, blending into the environment. Then, with a burst of speed and power, they strike, using their tails as underwater propellers and launching themselves out of the water. Once they clamp down, they often perform a gruesome maneuver known as the death roll, spinning rapidly to tear flesh from their prey. And here's something most people don't know. Crocodiles aren't just brawn, they're also surprisingly brainy. They have a cerebral cortex, the part of the brain that handles memory, emotion, and decision-making. Some researchers even believe crocs are capable of holding grudges and remembering past interactions, not something you want to be on the wrong side of. Now let's turn our attention to the alligator, the quieter, more reserved cousin of the crocodile. Unlike their globe-trotting relatives, alligators stick closer to home. There are just two living species: the American alligator, found primarily in the southern United States, especially the wetlands of Florida, Louisiana, and Georgia, and the much rarer Chinese alligator, which makes its home along China's Yangtze River. Alligators are strictly freshwater dwellers. You'll find them lounging in swamps, lakes, rivers, and even the occasional backyard pond. If you live in the South, you probably know that seeing a gator sunbathing on a golf course isn't as rare as it sounds. One of the most noticeable differences, it's all in the face. Alligators have a broad, U-shaped snout, ideal for cracking open turtle shells, one of their favorite meals. When their mouths are closed, you'll only see the upper teeth, unlike crocodiles, whose teeth all show. Their skin is usually dark brown or olive, and young alligators are marked with bright yellow bands, perfect camouflage in murky waters. When it comes to size, alligators are no small fry. but they're generally smaller and stockier than crocodiles. A large adult can reach up to 14 feet in length and weigh nearly 1,000 pounds. Their bite still packs a punch, around 2,000 to 2,500 psi strong enough to crush bone with ease. But here's something reassuring: alligators are far less aggressive toward humans than crocodiles. In fact, they usually steer clear unless provoked or threatened. That said, they're still wild animals and deserve plenty of respect, especially around kids and pets near the water. Alligators are also survivors. Despite habitat loss and decades of hunting, they've made a strong comeback thanks to conservation efforts. Today, they're not just a symbol of the South, they're a reminder of nature's resilience and the power of preservation. Key differences between crocodiles and alligators. Let's break down the key differences between crocodiles and alligators in a way that's easy to understand and appreciate. Snout shape: crocodile, V-shaped, perfect for catching fish and large prey. Alligator, U-shaped, ideal for cracking open tough prey like turtles. Teeth visibility: crocodile, you'll see both upper and lower teeth when their mouth is closed. Alligator, only upper teeth are visible, even with their mouth shut. Skin color: crocodile, a deep, dark greenish gray, giving them a more armored look. Alligator, a rich, dark brown or olive, blending perfectly with freshwater habitats. Habitat: crocodile, freshwater and saltwater. Thanks to special glands, they can thrive in both. Alligator, freshwater only found in swamps, rivers, and lakes. Geographic range: crocodile, found globally, from Africa and Asia to Australia and the Americas. Alligator, mostly in the southern United States and China. Aggression: crocodile, highly aggressive and known to attack humans when provoked. Alligator, less aggressive, tends to avoid humans but should still be respected. Size and bite force: crocodile, larger and stronger, with a bite force ranging from 3,000 to 5,000 psi. Some can grow up to 20 feet and weigh over 2,000 pounds. Alligator, smaller in size, with a bite force of 2,000 to 2,500 psi. They can grow up to 14 feet and weigh around 1,000 pounds. Whether it's the powerful jaws of a crocodile or the mighty resilience of an alligator, both are magnificent creatures that have adapted over millions of years. While crocodiles are global predators with unmatched aggression, alligators are more localized and tend to live a quieter, more reserved life. How often do crocodiles and alligators attack people in the US? When it comes to encounters between humans and these powerful reptiles, the good news is attacks are extremely rare. In the United States, you're far more likely to be struck by lightning than bitten by a crocodilian. Let's start with alligators, which are far more common in the US, especially in states like Florida, Louisiana, and Georgia. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the odds of being seriously injured during an unprovoked alligator attack are about 1 in 3.1 million. Most alligators prefer to avoid people altogether, and they usually only lash out when they feel threatened or if someone gets too close to their nest. Crocodiles, on the other hand, are much rarer in the US, with the American crocodile found only in the southern tip of Florida. While they can be more aggressive than gators, confirmed attacks by crocodiles in the US are extraordinarily rare, with just a handful of documented cases and virtually no fatalities. To put it simply, alligator attacks in the US average around 5 to 10 per year, with fatalities being even rarer, typically less than 1 per year. Crocodile attacks in the US are so uncommon that they are almost statistically negligible. Still, caution is key. If you're walking near a freshwater lake in Florida or kayaking through the Everglades, keep a respectful distance from the water's edge and always supervise children and pets. These creatures have been around since the age of the dinosaurs and they deserve our respect as much as our curiosity. Should you keep a crocodile or alligator as a pet? It's a question that pops up more often than you might think. Can I keep one of these ancient reptiles as a pet? Technically, in some places yes, but should you? That's a whole different story. Let's be clear, alligators and crocodiles are not pets in any traditional sense. While baby alligators may look cute when they're only a foot long and resting quietly in a tank, they don't stay small for long. An adult alligator can reach up to 14 feet and weigh over 1,000 pounds. Crocodiles get even bigger and much more aggressive. Here are a few key things to consider. Danger to humans and other animals. These are apex predators with powerful jaws and natural instincts. Even if raised in captivity, they can become unpredictable and dangerous, especially as they grow. Space and habitat. These animals need enormous enclosures with access to water, heat, and sunlight. A backyard pond simply won't cut it. Legal and ethical concerns. Many states regulate or outright ban the private ownership of crocodilians. In some cases, you'll need special permits, inspections, or even liability insurance. Lifespan. Alligators and crocodiles can live for 50 years or more, requiring a lifelong and potentially multi-generational commitment. Instead of keeping one at home, consider visiting a wildlife sanctuary or conservation center, where you can safely observe and support these incredible creatures. Many of these organizations offer senior-friendly tour and education programs, giving you the chance to appreciate them up close without the risk or the responsibility. If you enjoyed learning about these fascinating creatures, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of animal lovers and stay updated with more exciting wildlife facts, comparisons, and fun videos. Subscribe now and never miss an adventure into the wild.